And we're back with another The Shoe vlog. Today we are concluding our Purity series and talking about the journey of a ring. She received me as a gift from her parents at the young age of 16. This girl had seen a lot of life, but I had not. I was on her left ring finger for many years since then. Through those years I have been through many events with her. I was a visual reminder of a promise made long ago. A reminder to continue to choose God each day. I am her purity ring. Now, this girl had lived somewhat of a sheltered life compared to some. She didn't know swear words and hadn't been exposed to many of the darknesses of the world. But, in time, she would be. High school friends from soccer would open her eyes to some things. I got a bit beat up then. In college, she learned more about the world's darkness. She watched some movies that were not glorifying to God, and a few more nicks hit me. She began to grow in God more as her college years went by. Eventually, I moved from her left ring finger to her right ring finger as she began to question her worth. She questioned if anyone would ever love her or care. Thankfully, she did not lose herself or me, but there were times of trials when she was weak, that she would watch or read something that gave me a bit of a scuff. Yet, I stayed on even with a few marks. After college, her kindergarten students would question if she was married. To them, having a ring on means you are married. It was interesting watching my owner try to explain why she wore me to 5-year-olds. Years later, she coached at a goalkeeper camp. Her middle school girls asked why she wore me. She told them that I was a purity ring. None of the girls knew what I represented. In shock, my owner explained what purity meant. One of the girls said, "I wish my uncle would have one of those." It hit my owner hard. It made her sad that people are not being taught about purity and the promises of the Lord. A year later, she was coaching at a college. One of her goalies needed a break, so she went to step in. As she was trying to step in, she was taking me off her finger so she would not get jammed with me on. Suddenly, a ball was shot towards her and I went flying. She was engrossed in the game and did not realize I had fallen on the turf. After practice, she went to put me back on, but I was not in her pocket. She started to look around on the turf. It was like looking for a needle in the haystack. Finally, she crouched down and saw my gleam in the sunset. She picked me up and one of her players came over. "Did you find it?" she asked. "Yes," my owner replied. "I'm glad you did not lose it. I know it has sentimental value to you." The player smiled. My owner looked down at me and smiled. I could tell she was happy to have not lost me, the physical reminder of a promise she made long ago. Today, as my owner types this, I am still on her finger. You may not be able to read the text that says, "True love waits," as much as you could years ago. I may have a few scuffs here and there, both physical and spiritual, yet the promise made remains the same. Each day my owner puts me on, she makes a choice to choose to follow the way of the Lord, not the way of the world. A choice to be pure in body, a choice to do her best to stay pure in mind. And even if she fails at that, she knows that Christ died for her so she can be pure in him. Purity is a choice.